Hi, this is Sheila with Stampin' Wishes, and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be doing a masculine Valentine's Day. We're going to be using the Heartfelt stamp set. I just absolutely love this. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I saw this card. It's a pop-up card that was on Wendy Cranford, I think is how you say her last name. It was a pop-up card that she did, and I thought I've just got to do this in a masculine version. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So thanks to you, Wendy, for giving us the ideas and getting me going on it. All right, so what we're going to do is I've cut out some of these, so let's go over some of the measurements real quick. Our basic cardstock is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then we have a scrap piece that we're going to punch out, and let's go ahead and do that. I wanted to punch out the scallop. These are, if you get the bundle, you'll get these 2 punches that come with that stamp set. And so we want to do a black background, since we're using a lot of the black and the gold. And I'll set that to the side. And then we'll go ahead and punch out the heart that I stamped with real red. And I did use my Stamp-A-Braton on this because to get that nice solid effect on that heart, you really do need to stamp it a couple of times, so you might want to keep that in mind when you go to stamp that. So let's go ahead and put that there. Set that aside. Okay, I pre-cut these, and this is using our the new designer paper. The hearts out by using this designer paper. As you can see it here, I just cut me a little strip off of it, and then I went through and punched each one. And then I went ahead and stamped the greeting from it. One of them says, "From my heart to yours, love you lots." Okay, and so we're going to put those to the side. And then I cut me out a foil. This is let me show it to you. This is the error that's in there, but I did use my brother's Scan and Cut to do that because I wanted just a plain heart, so arrow, so that's how I did that. Okay, right, for these items you're going to need the DSP. You need 4 of them, and they're cut at 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and set them aside, but this way you can see that okay, this designer paper that I showed here that's cut at 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 is found in your celebrations. Yes, it's how you can earn it. It is gorgeous. Let me tell you, every piece that's in there is just beautiful. And so I decided that had a nice masculine look for it, and I would use it for my Valentine card. All right, and then we have, using the gold foil, we have 4 of these, and they're cut at 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So we're going to set them over here as well. Okay. And then make sure I have my 4 there. There we go. Okay. So then we need 2 pieces that are cut at 4 by 4, and I'm using the black cardstock background for this. It'll be the inside part of it and the mechanism, which I'll show you in a minute. Then for the outside, I thought we would do a gold foil, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and then I came in with a little bit smaller here, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches, so we get a nice gold frame around it. Okay, so let's go ahead. When I first made this card, I did the inside and then the outside, and I found that decorating the outside before we put the inside, because it is a pop-out card, I found it to be easier, so that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and bring some of these, and I love using my Tumbo glue, and we do sell it at Stampin' Up, so be sure, and if you need any, you can go to my store at stampingwithsheila.com and purchase whatever you need. All right. Okay, let's set this aside for a second. Now this is the one that I think on this white, we're going to go in here and use this heart. I really like it. It's this one right here. And we're just going to kind of stamp a little pattern around. That's what I did with the last one, and the heart goes this way, so I'm just going to put my stamp on and bring my real red stamp pad out. I had thought about even stamping the little black hearts around, but then I thought, that kind of almost seems like a black heart, and we don't want to think of it that way, I don't think. So I'm going to take and do my corners, and what this does is help me balance where I want to put my other ones to match up with them. Okay, so then we're going to go, and I think we'll just do a smaller version than I did on my first one, because we are looking for a masculine effect on this, and I don't want to overemphasize too much of this. Okay, and there we go. All right, so that's, I think, all we're going to do for that right now. And this is one of those cards we're making it along the way. I have not made this particular style yet. And for those, let's see if I can find it. Here it is. If you've not used our stamp cleaning pad, you really should. It, on these photopolymer stamps, it really cleans them up nicely, and especially from the dark stains. Look how clean that came out, really pretty. And I've stamped, many times with this, with the red, and it just barely has a little pink tone to it. So if you haven't bought any of that, I definitely would get it, and I'll have it on my screen so you'll know what the order number is for it. Okay, let's put that one away before we lose it. Okay, so next what I want to do is adhere this to my black background, and what I'm going to do here is to snip this in two so that I can position it in between the two and show the arrow coming through the heart. Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and do this. Yes, that's my first original stamping of it, and kind of goofed it up, so, but I didn't want to waste my paper, and I redid it. So what we want to do is to find our position, and I'm going to use this so that I can see the white background on it, and I want to put one going this way, and then the other one coming down the other way. Okay, once you have them in position like that, and I think that looks good, then I'll go ahead and put this down on top of it, and if you need to at the last minute make some repositioning, you can before it totally adheres. And we're going to be propping this up with dimensionals, so that way we can put those. So let me see if I can find my black dimensionals. Love these, especially when you're using the black like this. It doesn't show up nearly as much. And then because I'm going to be using white, or this has white, I'm going to go ahead and use the white there. That way it blends a little bit better. And one right here. Okay. So let's go ahead and get these off now. All right, so let's go ahead, and sometimes this works pretty good, just popping them off like this, and sometimes, especially if you're filming, that's when they're gonna, if it's gonna goof up, it's gonna be then. And you have to be really careful because these are very fragile, as fine as they are, so I'm gonna take a little bit more care than just jerking them off like I was doing. Come on. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this one off. There we are. Okay, so let's be sure we get this where we'd like to see it. I think this looks good about there. Beautiful. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah. Okay, so now we want to put this on top of our card there. So let's go ahead and get our adhesive on it. And I thought about putting dimensionals on it as well, but we've got so much dimension with our center pop-up that I didn't want to make it any thicker than it already is going to be. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, we're going to set this aside while it dries a little bit. And next we're going to go ahead and prepare our pop-up. Okay, so on this one here, you're going to take your, and you can see it, it's a 4x4. What you're going to do with it is take and score it at 2 inches this way. Turn it around and score it at 2 inches. And then we're going to do a diagonal. And what I like to do, see how I'm fitting this right into that little crease here? That gives you a nice support when you're scoring those diagonals. And you only want to go diagonal one way, like so. Okay? So let's do the other one. We do it at 2 inches. And 2 inches this way. And then fit it up into our casing there and do it there. Okay, and while we've got these out, let's see, we're going to do, oh, you know what? I had wanted to cut some black ones to go on top of here. So let me get this scrap and see if I have enough to do that with. These are, let's see what size those are again, 1 7/8. So I'm going to do these at 1 3/4, and let's see if I can do that. Let's do that real quick here. All right, so let's go in here, and we need 4 of them. So let's go ahead and bring it here. There's 1, 2, 3, and the last one at 1 3/4, 4. Okay, and what these will be is layers on top of the gold there. All right, now our DSP, because we need, let me show you the fold first, and then I'll show you how we're going to cut our DSP to fit in there. Okay, so what you have is you want to fold it this way, fold it this way, fold it this way again, and then what we're going to do is bring in, is see how it starts coming in on you. So you just bring this in, and you bring that in, and use your bone folder and crease your creases really, really well, because you want those to, and I'm even going to go in between there. Okay, so there we've got that one, and we want to do the same thing with the other one. We're going to fold it, fold it, and fold it. And you can go ahead and fold it this way. I just find it works a little better because it's going to actually be going in, not to put too much pressure folding it the other way. Okay. So let's go ahead and burnish those edges real well. Okay, so the idea of the card, it's going to be like so. So what we're going to do first is adhere these 2 pieces, and then we'll adhere these to the card base inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and get us some adhesive on there. You want to make sure that they're going the right direction with each other. And you have time to, with the Tombow, to make sure that they're lined up well. Okay. And then in the center of your card, we're going to See, we're going to be putting it right in the center. Try and balance it as well as you can on each side. So let's go ahead and put our adhesive on here, remembering that we want it to open up with the card, so make sure you get it the right direction. Making sure here. Okay. We want to make sure that opens. You can kind of get a drift of what's going on here. And then we're going to bring this one in. Okay. This is really, it looks more complicated than it is, but it really is not. It's a fun, fast card that you can put together and make for someone special in your life. Okay, so I got a little bit of glue there, so let's wipe off the extra adhesive. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is I'm going to cut these on a diagonal. We're going to, and those will go into the diagonal pieces here. And then here we're going to take our gold and put this down first. And I'm still debating on whether I'm going to cover the gold or not, or just go ahead and leave it with one layer. But this is normally what you would do, and you'll see on my other one how I have it layered. It was very much like Wendy's original card, but we can do the black like this, and then this is going to be diagonal and it's going to come in. So let's cut these on the diagonal before I decide whether I'm going to have two layers or just one layer there. As I said, we're kind of creating this along the way. So let's go ahead again. Okay, so you want to fit your diagonal right in the little slot where I showed you earlier. And let's go ahead and make sure it's even. Press it down, cut it, and you get a beautiful even diagonal piece. And you get the support of it staying there when you do it, whether it's at this end or the other. I'm doing it at this end. I normally would probably be doing it towards me, but I want you to be able to see it in the film. So we're going to put it here. Make sure that is there. Cut it both ways. And one more time. And then we'll adhere these. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these on first. Normally I do them second, but this way I have an idea of how I want to do my other design. So we're going to go in here, and what's going to happen, we can go ahead and open this up so that we can get to it a little bit easier. But these are going to go like so, okay? And so let's go ahead and get that in. All right, so now we're back to getting ready to put the last parts on. So I'm going to go ahead and find, and these are going to be glued back to back, so it's okay if you get your adhesive on your heart all over, because there will be another part of it coming on. And I think we'll put it about right there. Okay, let's get the other one. And remember, when you're working with this Tumbo glue, that less is best. If you use too much of it, it will come out on your edges. And also, one of the things you have to be careful of on some of your thinner cardstock, you can end up showing your glue marks up underneath it, so you don't want that to happen. But here we go. Let's pop these out where they need to be in, like so. And look at that. Isn't that not, oops, let's go ahead. I didn't see that in the back. We don't have it even. Thank goodness for glue. We still had some maneuvering room there. Let's go ahead and hold it there for just a couple of seconds more. Okay, so as you can see, this folds down into a beautiful card. Isn't that gorgeous? And then it pops up. And what's kind of nice about this is that if you wanted to, you could stand it up on a piece and have it like that. See how it does? And then it closes right back down into place. So we've got this one here, and it does need to be burnished a little bit more because they do have a tendency to want to pop up. And then this one is the one that looked more like Wendy's, except for she didn't have a front on it, so this was my design on it. So here are both of them here, and you can see how it pops open. And here's the front of this one that we just did. Okay. All right, so until next time, happy creating, and God